Dear audience friends, welcome to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Let's get started.
I'm an 18-year-old girl who has developed a liking for older Reddit stories. My name is Jimena, and I unexpectedly found myself in Mexico City for love and studies. Little did I know that I would end up experiencing a tale of infidelity that I never imagined. How did this happen? Well, get ready to hear a story that will surely surprise you. My boyfriend, Juan, is an amazing person whom I met in college. After spending countless nights laughing and enjoying pizza together, we fell in love. While this may sound like a cliché, what makes it more interesting is that we now live together. Currently, we are staying with his grandfather until we find a better place. Here I am, studying at the university in the midst of Mexico City, trying to navigate my way through adulthood. And of course, there's Juan, an incredibly attractive guy who could easily capture any girl's heart. If someone had told me a few months ago that I would be living with him, I would have thought they were joking. But here we are, sharing not only the same bed but also the same refrigerator. Life has a funny way of taking unexpected turns. However, I have a secret that I need to share with you. There's something strange inside me, something that's difficult to explain. Sometimes, when I see older people, my mind starts to wander. I know it sounds strange, but let me clarify that I love Juan and our relationship is fantastic. However, this attraction to older individuals has become a personal dilemma for me. Picture this, I'm sitting at the dining table, trying to focus on my university notes, while Juan is on a work call. Suddenly, Juan's grandfather enters the room. He's an elderly man with gray hair and wrinkles that tell stories of a well-lived life. Strangely, my heart starts racing. There's something about the wisdom that comes with age that captivates me in a peculiar and confusing way. My days are filled with classes, assignments, and stolen glances exchanged with Juan's grandfather. It feels like I'm a teenager discovering the world all over again. It's incredibly confusing. I try my best to hide my emotions, but sometimes I wonder if others can see that special sparkle in my eyes when I talk to him. Am I losing my mind? The house is filled with a whirlwind of emotions. Between my studies and these unusual feelings, I'm struggling to maintain balance. Juan is as attentive and loving as ever, but I can't shake the feeling that he's noticing something is off. When he asks if everything is okay, I simply smile and nod, unable to explain what's happening in my mind. I can't even comprehend it myself. This is how my life unfolds day by day in Mexico City. I'm constantly trying to piece together the fragments of this strange puzzle. Why do I feel this way? What is happening to me? And most importantly, how do I handle this situation? Sometimes, it feels like I'm walking on an unknown path without a map. If this is what they call adulthood, then no one warned me how complicated and confusing it could be. Nevertheless, I find myself facing an unusual desire while trying to maintain balance in my relationship. Will I ever understand my own feelings? That's the question swirling in my mind as I navigate through this strange story that is my life. Living in Mexico City for love and studies may sound like the plot of a movie, but for me, it's a surreal reality. As I mentioned before, Juan and I met in college, and our love quickly blossomed. Now, we share more than just laughter and pizza, we share a home. Although it may seem crazy, I'm enjoying this wild journey. So here I am, in the heart of magnificent Mexico City, juggling classes, assignments, and my adult life while living under the same roof as Juan's grandfather. The three of us reside together in a house filled with stories and memories. Although the walls may be old, the grandfather is not far behind. Remember the man with gray hair and wrinkles? He's like an encyclopedia of experiences, and despite his age, he still possesses a captivating charm. Engaging in a conversation with him is enough to completely captivate anyone. There's a special energy when I talk to him, not in a romantic way, but as if his wisdom and experience envelop me, as if I'm conversing with an oracle. His voice is calm, yet his words hold a power that demands my attention. It's like I'm connecting with something greater than myself. However, there's something within me that shifts when I interact with him. It's difficult to describe, but there's a magnetic quality in his way of speaking and the depth of his eyes. It's as if he's calling out to me from a deep and mysterious place. My days become a dance between classes, conversations with Juan, and chats with the grandfather. I try to focus on my studies, but my mind often wanders to unfamiliar places. I'm filled with strange thoughts. I'm happy with Juan, but there's also a part of me that yearns for those enriching conversations with the grandfather. The glances we share seem to carry a secret message that only we understand. Those fleeting moments when our gazes meet feel like a profound and fleeting connection. Sometimes, I wonder if the grandfather can sense what I feel or if it's just my imagination running wild. Am I reading too much into it? Am I losing my mind? The house is brimming with constantly simmering emotions. Between my studies, my confused feelings, and my relationship with Juan, I feel like I'm walking a tightrope. Juan, always attentive and affectionate, begins to notice that something isn't quite right. He asks questions and looks at me with concern, and all I can do is smile and nod. How could I explain this confusion in my head? I don't even understand what's happening myself. So, there you have it. My life in Mexico City is a strange cocktail of love, studies, and an intriguing connection with Juan's grandfather. Sometimes, I feel like the protagonist in a young adult novel, trying to unravel the mysteries of my own heart. Why do I feel this strange connection? How do I deal with these feelings that seem to come out of nowhere? These questions have no clear answers as I navigate through this story that is as confusing and beautiful as a dream. Life goes on in the city, with its college classes, fresh-smelling coffee shops, and unexpected adventures. And of course, with Juan, the boy who entered my heart with a smile and a hint of charm. But now, there's something else in the mix, something I can't get out of my head even during my most intense study moments. The story becomes even more interesting when Juan goes off to work, leaving me alone in the house with Grandpa. That's when things start to get weird. You see, the attraction I feel for Grandpa intensifies, growing like an uncontrollable flame. When we are alone, our conversations become deeper, and our gazes more intense. It's as if we are sharing a secret that only we know. Time seems to slow down when we are together. Our talks flow naturally, as if we are two souls who understand each other beyond words. And every time we're close, I feel an electric current running through my skin. Could it be that I'm imagining this? Is it just my mind playing tricks on me? My head is filled with fantasies, moments that exist only in my mind, moments that are completely inappropriate but impossible to avoid. What is happening to me? I'm Jimena, the girl who fell in love with an amazing guy, not an older man. I can't help but feel attracted and confused at the same time. And the worst part is that this attraction doesn't stay in my head. There are moments when I think Grandpa is playing with me, sending me signals that only I can pick up on. A knowing smile, a subtle comment that seems to have a double meaning. My heart beats faster, and my mind fills with thoughts. Could it be that he feels the same way? Or am I going crazy? I am left with many questions and no clear answers. My relationship with Juan is still amazing, but now I have this new dimension of feelings that I can't ignore. While he's off working hard for our future, I'm here, in the middle of this unexpected situation with his grandfather. The tension in the house is palpable. I'm tangled in my own thoughts, trying to figure out what's going on and at the same time, keeping anyone else from finding out. But what if they already know? What if Juan and Grandpa have noticed the way our gazes connect and how things change when we are together? As the days go by, the signs that something is happening become clearer. A comment here, a look there, and the tension in the air grows stronger. My head is a chaos of mixed emotions, desires, and doubts. I can't go on like this, feeling trapped in a maze of forbidden emotions. The question that haunts me is whether I am the only one feeling this or if Grandpa is also experiencing this strange attraction. What does this mean for my relationship with Juan? Is it possible for me to be attracted to two people at once? I am sinking under these emotions, and I don't know how to escape. My life in Mexico City has gone from being an adventure to a complicated dilemma. The attraction I feel for Juan's grandfather has become stronger, and I can no longer ignore it. Every conversation, every shared glance only makes my desire grow stronger. But here I am, facing this situation, unsure of what to do. What do I do with these feelings that seem to go against everything I should be? I have made a decision that makes me feel nervous and excited at the same time. I have planned a moment when I will be alone with Grandpa. I have chosen a day when Juan will be at work and I will not have classes at the university. It's the perfect opportunity, the time when I can give free rein to my desires and explore what's going on between us. I know it's risky, that it's outside the bounds of what's considered right. But I can't help it. The attraction is like a fire burning in me, and I feel like I need to know if Grandpa feels the same way. I need to feel his closeness, his presence in a way that transcends words. As I plan this encounter, my mind fills with fantasies. I daydream of intense moments, glances that speak more than 1,000 words, and touches that send shivers down my spine. I'm determined to explore this adventure, to find out if it's real or just a figment of my runaway imagination. And so, the appointed day arrives on my mental calendar. Juan is heading off to work, and I'm staying home. It's the perfect moment for the grandfather and me to have that time alone. I feel a knot in my stomach, a mix of anxiety and excitement that almost makes me step back. But I know I can't turn back now. The house feels different that day. Every corner seems charged with the energy of what I'm about to do. My hands tremble as I get ready, trying to calm myself and organize my thoughts. I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing, but I feel like it's something I need to do to understand what's happening within me. The grandfather enters the room, and for a moment, our gazes meet. It's as if he knows what's about to happen, as if he's in tune with my thoughts. A smile forms on his lips, and I feel my heart beating strongly in my chest. I can't back out now. Our conversations that day are more intimate than ever. There's an air of complicity between us, as if we both know what's coming. My words are less certain than usual, and I notice that the grandfather is also acting differently. There's a play in our words, a subtext that seems to lead us in a direction neither of us can deny. The tension becomes unbearable, and I know it's time to act. We're alone in the living room, and the grandfather stares at me, as if he's waiting for something. My heart beats strongly as I approach him, as if I'm being drawn by an invisible magnet. Our eyes meet, and without a word, I know it's happening. I get closer, and our lips finally meet in a kiss full of passion and desire. It's a kiss that has been waiting to happen, hanging in the air between us for a while. His lips are soft and warm, and I feel electricity coursing through my body as we surrender to this attraction that has been impossible to resist. Time stops as our bodies move together, as if we're in tune with a secret melody. I can't believe what's happening, but at the same time, I can't stop it. It's as if all the emotions I've been feeling are finally finding an outlet in this intense and passionate moment. After that moment, everything changes. The complicity between the grandfather and me deepens, and even though we don't say much, our gazes speak for themselves. I know that what we did isn't conventional, and there are countless unanswered questions. But in that moment, in that instant of passion and connection, everything seems to fall into place. The house returns to what it was, but something has changed. I'm no longer the same person I was before that day. Now, I have a part of me that's hard to explain, an experience that has changed me in some way. I'm facing the consequences, trying to understand what they mean and how they'll affect my life with Juan and with the grandfather. The story has become more complicated than ever, and here I am, in the midst of this emotional mess, trying to figure out what I truly want and what this unplanned adventure means. My life in Mexico City has turned into a chaos of emotions, desires, and confusion. And I have no idea how to move forward. The weeks following the shared moment with the grandfather are filled with tension and stolen glances. Every shared look, every thought feels like a secret that only he and I know. We cross paths in the house with a complicity that's impossible to hide. Although our conversations are more cautious now, our gazes speak volumes. My relationship with Juan, on the other hand, continues as usual. I'm trapped between two worlds, two realities that don't seem to coexist peacefully. The nights I spend with him are filled with mixed feelings, guilt, and an undeniable desire. I wonder if he suspects something, if he can feel the tension in the air. As I grapple with these emotions, I must also deal with the consequences of my actions. I wonder if what I did is right. How could I have let myself be carried away by my desires like this? The grandfather and I share stolen moments, moments that are thrilling but also tense. I can't help but wonder if this is just an escape, if we're seeking something in each other that we can't find in our current lives. But every time our hands brush or our gazes meet, all my doubts fade away. Confusion and guilt mix within me, and I'm in a constant struggle to understand what I feel and what I should do. My life in Mexico City, which started as an adventure filled with laughter and love, has turned into a labyrinth from which I don't know how to escape. The grandfather and I continue to share moments of intimacy, like two co-conspirators in a secret that can't be spoken aloud. But I know this can't last forever. At some point, everything will come to light. My life has become an intense drama, a conflict between love and desire, between what's right and what's forbidden. I don't know how this story will unfold, but I'm determined to find a way out, to discover who I am amidst this confusion. Mexico City remains the backdrop of my life, but now it's filled with shadows and secrets that I can't ignore. The days keep moving forward, and my life seems to have split into two parallel worlds. On one side, there are college classes, endless homework, and friends waiting for my attention. On the other hand, there is Grandpa, his charm, and the secret moments we share. Every time I walk into the classroom, I try to focus on what the professor is saying, the notes I'm taking, and the interactions with my classmates. But my mind constantly wanders, taking me to a place where adventures with Grandpa and stolen moments become my main thought. I am distracted and pensive, finding myself in the midst of an emotional dilemma that seems to have no end. At times, I feel guilty for thinking about Grandpa when I should be focused on my relationship with Juan. How did I get to this point? How did I allow my life to be filled with infidelity and secrets? The lies pile up, hidden behind a fake smile and carefully chosen words so that no one suspects anything. But every time I exchange a glance with Grandpa, I feel like I'm betraying Juan. Guilt gnaws at me, but I also feel an addictive pull towards these furtive moments. Of course, Juan doesn't suspect a thing. He's still the same amazing guy he's always been, attentive and loving. But I feel a distance between us, as if I'm living in two different realities. I'm leading a double life, and every day it becomes harder to keep the pieces in place. I know that if Juan discovers the truth, everything will change. Our relationship, which started out as a perfect love story, would crumble in an instant. But as the days go by, I wonder if I can keep hiding this forever. Grandpa and I share secret moments, but the weight of betrayal threatens to crush me. Sometimes, I find myself in front of the mirror, looking at my reflection and wondering what I am doing with my life. Am I the girl who loves Juan and builds a future with him? Or am I the girl who got carried away by the attraction to Grandpa and put everything at risk? The days become a constant struggle. I'm filled with confused thoughts, trying to find my way in the midst of this situation. My friends notice my distraction, my absence in conversations, and my vacant stare. I don't know how to explain to them what is happening. I can't even understand it myself. As I progress through the semester, things become even more complicated. Grandpa and I continue to share those intense moments, those stolen moments that keep us connected on a level I can't explain. But every time I do, I feel like I'm falling further and further into an abyss from which I don't know if I can escape. My thoughts are filled with contradictions. On one hand, I feel that I should end these secret meetings with Grandpa. Although a part of me wants to continue, I know it's not the right thing to do. If I continue down this path, I will be deceiving Juan, lying to him, and hiding a part of my life that should not exist. I can't continue to live with this burden of emotions. But if I stop seeing Grandpa in that way, what will happen next? I will still be living under the same roof as him and Juan. The days will be tense and uncomfortable. Every conversation with Grandpa will be fraught with unspoken tension, a shared secret that we won't be able to forget. I don't know if I'll be able to handle it, but I know it's the right thing to do. On the other hand, there is the option of moving forward with this forbidden attraction. The secret moments with Grandpa will continue, and our conversations will become even more intense. But I will also continue to lie to Juan, to hide a part of myself from him. Can I live with this constant anxiety? Will I be able to look Juan in the eye without feeling like I'm betraying him? I feel trapped in a dilemma with no clear solution. Each option seems to lead me down a path full of betrayal and lies. No matter what decision I make, someone will get hurt. How did I get to this point? My life in Mexico City began as a story of love and adventure, but now it's filled with lies and secrets that threaten to change my life forever.